his eyes again, a mocking expression covering his complexion. These guys are really out of their depth. Without even knowing how strong he was, he dared to come over and fight with himself. Ha! It was important to realize that he had already broken through to the heaven realm cultivation level before. What was being done today was nothing more than a physical breakthrough. On the other side, the numerous cultivators who were tied up on the ground also witnessed the scene, and the fear of Chu Feng in their hearts went up even more. Originally, they also thought in their hearts that they were the proud sons of a great family, and that Chu Feng, the head of the face, would absolutely not dare to do anything to them. But now it seems that this person really dares to do it, completely disregarding the existence of consequences. Just a lawless lord. After learning this, all of them dared not have any more petty thoughts. They have settled down to just being a captive. After Chu Feng on this side saw that these people did not move again, although he did not know what the reason was, he was extremely happy after there was a lot less trouble. The mind became even more silent in cultivation. Time rushes by and before you know it, it's the last day. The immortal and demon continent had remained unchanged for 10,000 years. In the vastness of the sky, the day changed dramatically and precipitously. With a roar after a roar, the sky violently cracked open. The crack was like an eggshell being opened, as if it had been broken open. Everyone in the entire human world, whether they were cultivators or ordinary people, heard this wailing sound. After this crack appeared, no matter if it was the great sects on earth or the people of the devil race, when they heard this voice, every single one of them felt as if they had received a heavy blow in their hearts. On this day, countless people who were silent in their cultivation nearly went off the deep end under the disturbance of this roaring sound. Wake up from the depths. On this day, the great figures of the three holy places on earth, the 7 sects of the devil race, the patriarchs of them, and so on, came out from their places of seclusion, one by one. Their hearts were heavy as they looked at this crack in the sky. Devil race, 100 Flowers Peak, Demon Emperor, this is. Morong Wanner looked at Tang Shishir who came down from midair and couldn't help but ask in her heart. A crack suddenly appeared in this sky. Whether they were mortals or cultivators, every single one of them gave birth to a sense. Such a thing is extremely unusual. Also, and most importantly, this sense of theirs was like a mother's warning. It was as if the home had been invaded by robbers. But no matter where she looked she couldn't find the source of that perception. Most importantly, who was able to send out such a perception that made every one of them perceive a crisis. It is also the time for you to understand things like this. Tang Shishir retracted her gaze from the sky with a strong look of worry on her complexion. This was a kind of worry that even when the human race came over to invade and the demon race fell into a green and yellow disintegration in the middle of the century, Morong Wanner had never seen. This made her mood even heavier. Did you know? Originally, our immortal demon continent here was ruled by the heavenly demon clan as well as many other groups called gods and demons and so on. While our human clan was the weakest existence amongst the 10,000 clans, we were totally slave one there. Well, no, that's a bit of an inaccurate statement. A more accurate statement would be that we are their food. At any moment they can become food in their mouths, with no way to satisfy even dignity, sustenance, etc. Tang Shishir described all this in a sad and heavy tone, with a look of boundless sadness of. With just these descriptions alone, Morong Wanner understood how low the status of the human race was in that period of history, how high the crisis has gotten. However, 100,000 years ago, a genius was suddenly born among the human race, and that genius first imprinted the cultivation methods of the divine and demonic races and the immortal race to create a technique that belongs to our human race that can be cultivated. And these are our earlier cultivation techniques, along with the Qi practicing method. In addition, he also created the body practicing technique against the demon race's flesh-body cultivation technique, and the technique we are practicing now was passed down from that time. As our human race grew stronger, our human race stood up and slowly transformed from food to a minor race among the 10,000 races. After about 50,000 years had passed in this way, the strength developed by our human race finally reached its peak. When, speaking here, Tang Shishir's tone steeply changed, and the sad look in her words disappeared. It turned into the resounding killing aura of the battlefield, and his expression became even more serious. At this time, Morong Wanner also knew that this was a turning point for the human race, and at that moment, she also listened more attentively. That time, the strength of the human race had reached its most peak moment, and the geniuses of our human race had also reached the peak of their strength, and were peak powerhouses within the immortal and demon continent. Even the powerhouses within the immortal and demon clans and the celestial demon clan had to be a head below them. Such strength has caused the people inside these great clans to be incredibly jealous, for these incomparably clear geniuses, at that moment also no longer stay hands, directly organizing all the strong people inside the human clan, directly preemptive strike. Before the war started, the strongest members of the divine demon clan were killed and driven out. But the heavenly demon clan that has always had scruples about our human race has been on the defensive. And when our human race went over to look for them, they had already united the strongest of the many minor clans inside the immortal demon continent waiting for us to see them. In that situation, the 3,000 peak experts at the God Emperor level of our human race, led by that genius of the human race, engaged in a grueling duel with the heavenly demon race in the immortal demon continent. That battle was fought in such a way that the sky fell apart, the sun and moon were lost, and the stars were shattered. Even the now boundless immortal and demon continent has been beaten into its present form, more than a third smaller. This battle was fought for a full 3 years, and 3 years have passed, and our human race has driven the 10,000 races out of the immortal demon continent. But, at this moment, Tang Shishir's tone turned and steeply became low, listening on the sidelines. Morong Wanner's expression also became sad and heavy with the change in tone. The eyes all contained a strong look of respect. These predecessors could be existences who gave their lives for the cause of humanity, though she had no ties or interests present with them. But what they did and their behavior was respected by their demon race. Although the form of the people in the demon race is unscrupulous and their means are extremely cool, it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. Compared to some hypocrites and ordinary humans, the demon race is more emotional. Tang Shishir was silent for a long time before she continued, but it's not without a price that the human race drove these people out. First of all, it's on the human side. There are not 10 of the 3,000 peak powerhouses left, and those who survived, every one of them was heavily injured and hurt their roots. Most importantly, that genius of the human race. Morong Wanner's heart lifted when she heard this. It was because she had already learned from within the information here that this genius was a true demon, and also the pinnacle of the sea within the human race. If something goes wrong, then it's. However, listening to Tang Shishir's words, she also had a bad experience in her heart. Sure enough, at that moment, Tang Shishir also continued, but that leader was so close to collapsing after the heavenly demon clan's deliberate strike that his divine soul and body suffered unrecoverable injuries. This step is already the limit of a godman, and heaven and earth are hard to save. Clearly aware of the consequences of his life, this leader brought together all of the strongest members of the human race and announced a practice that shocked the world and the very existence of our demon race. That is, he divided the human race into the demon race and the orthodox human race, and after doing that, he dissolved himself between heaven and earth, and at the same time blocked off the immortal demon continent. It has kept us from being harassed and invaded by the heavenly demon, divine demon clans for countless years. But what our human race has done has also caused the heavenly demon clan to hate our human race to the bone, and to retaliate against our immortal and demon continent at all times. Among them, the demon race is one of the forces they support. End of chapter. Chapter 148 Opening of the Secret World. Chapter 148 Opening of the Secret World. Over the last 1,000 years, with the aid of the heavenly demon clan, the demon clan has pulled the fierce beast clan and other non-human locations into their camp. This slow development has made them also become a large power inside the immortal and demon continent, but these were only developed by them with the tacit approval of the demon and human clans who asked you. Otherwise, if our demon race had exterminated the demon race before, the human race wouldn't have been so nice to talk to. After all, Tang Shishir lamented a sentence. In this world, all forces are concerned with balance. If it wasn't for the fact that they, the demon race and the human race, were on the same side and had the same purpose. Otherwise, could this be the reason why our demon race destroyed the demon race's ancestral court, and the human race didn't even come over to ask about it? Morong Wanner was a bit curious. They had exterminated one of the strongest forces inside the immortal and demon continent. Indeed, Tang Shishir's callback made sure of that. So we demons and humans are all one? Morong Wanner opened her mouth. This too. In fact, it also goes back to the ancient times. Tang Shishir said this, her eyes falling into memories. Rumor has it that in ancient times, after the great battle between the human race and the 10,000 races, that leader was severely injured and knew that his time was running out. But the heavenly demon clan and also the divine demon clan don't have just a little bit of strong people inside here, and the even more powerful ones among them haven't even appeared yet. Under these concerns, after he traveled all over the continent and collected countless information, he eventually came up with a solution. That is to use the human race as a blueprint to create a new 10,000 races, so as to develop more powerful people, and find the most suitable path for our human race. Could it be that our demon race split off from then and thus developed to this point? Morong Wanner said in shock. If it was really like what the demon emperor had said, that genius as well as the leader could be truly terrifying. It's amazing that I was able to come up with this. It makes the power of the human race and its strength grow up quickly. Well, that's how it is. But there are bad parts of this approach that are friendly, but all in all the pros outweigh the cons. It seems now, Tang Shirshir said. Then what does this have to do with the sky crack we saw? Could it be? Morong Wan Er thought of this. Steeply her face was a little shocked, looking at Morong Wan Er's discolored appearance. Tang Shirshir sighed. In fact she didn't want to see such a thing happen. But it happened. So it's just a matter of dealing with it. That's right. It's just as you thought that the heavenly demon realm has begun to invade. Now we need to ventilate with the human side and face the invasion of the heavenly demon realm together. Tang Shirshir gathered herself together and returned to her original indifferent and noble appearance. Then what should we do if they invade now that our side's strength has not returned? Hearing this news, Morong Wan Er's delicate face was covered with sorrow above. You shouldn't worry too much about these things. Even though the strength of our human race hasn't recovered yet, the heavenly demon clan is only one clan attacking. Not all of them will attack us. The most important point is that the rift has only just opened now. Even if the strongest within the heavenly demon clan wanted to come in, they wouldn't be able to, and at most, just a few weak little demons would come in. Just relax on that point. If they came in and attacked us straight away, I wouldn't be here so leisurely. Tang Shirshir said faintly. Yes, Lord Demon Emperor. Morong Wan Er responded. Except she was frowning quite a bit more at this point. Now let's go contact some people before we do that. At that moment, Tang Shirshir instantly disappeared in place, while Morong Wan Er also followed her out. The Tang Shirshir in flight at this time was not as relaxed as she claimed. You know, while it is true that the war is not much more intense now, but once the sparring starts, then it can be long-lasting. The degree of cruelty was not the usual small fights between the human race and the demon race and devil race now. Rather, it's a real war, brutal and bloody. Something like this is extremely cool for every world. One must know that in the ancient times, there could be over 10,000 immortal emperor-level powerhouses within the 10,000 races. At its most powerful, the human race alone had over 3,000 strong people. But after that battle was fought, the human race's current immortal emperor-level powerhouses could be counted on one hand. And inside the immortal and demon continent, it was even more so that he had never even heard of it. In the outside world, a heaven realm powerhouse was considered a powerful party. But such a strong person was merely a small soldier-like existence in the ancient era she was looking at. A change like this is not something that can be finished with a simple battle. Instead, it's a more brutal illustration of what's going on. At that moment, Tang Shirshir stopped thinking about these things. Although not know how strong the power of the Sky Demon clan is now. But the most important thing is to unite the human race first. It's too much of a spread out thing like that if it's just one demon or if each fights their own. The power is also spread too thin. In that case, the heavenly demon clan could not be stopped. What's more, Chu Feng could still be outside. It would be best to find an opportunity to remind him of that. Otherwise, when the time came for him to recklessly rush over to the heavenly demon realm, she would be at a loss. Thinking of this, Tang Shirshir immediately sent a message to Chu Feng, reminding him to pay attention to the cracks in heaven and earth. Unfortunately, Chu Feng was immersed in cultivation and did not notice this piece of information. Otherwise, the message of the opening in the firmament would have been known. What's going on here? Chu Feng also came to his senses from the shuffle at that moment and immediately thought, this place is blocked off, and what happens in the outside world can actually affect the inside. Which, although he did not know what had happened in the pro world, Chu Feng was also clear that what could affect this side was definitely not a small matter. And it can't be good. That was why Chu Feng also accelerated the speed of his absorption. In the blink of an eye, half a day had passed. At that moment, Chu Feng's aura grew more and more massive, and his thick aura even suppressed the surrounding celestial pride in place. Feeling that it had already accumulated to its peak, there was no longer any way to help improve his qualifications by continuing to absorb it. Chu Feng let out a cold cry. Break! Rumble! 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 An explosive sound resounded within Chu Feng's body. What followed was a massive energy manifesting within him. It helped him to quickly transform the energy in his body. The energy that was mixed from the original 5 colors of water slowly changed to a chaotic color. Just as when the heavens and the earth first opened, the heavens and the earth were all gray and basalt. It's done! After looking internally, a joyful expression appeared on Chu Feng's face. Now it looks like he made the right bet for once, getting it all done. Most importantly, he had raised his cultivation to the heaven realm as well. This way his strength was no longer at the bottom of the existence inside the immortal and demon continent. It's still a molehill though, but, relatively speaking, he's out of the bottom. Within the immortal and demon continent, the 3 great realms were also the beginning of a division. Among the small places, as long as one's strength broke through to the heaven realm, one could also become a sect leader. Comparatively speaking, the following mortal realm, spirit realm, and Xian realm were all a bottom tier, disciple existence. At the heaven realm, it was the sky that was high enough for the birds to fly. Not only did it unlock the limitations of God's thoughts, most importantly, the ability to manipulate some auras and control the environment to fight for yourself, it was